Yoma Daf. How's everybody doing? Today's email comes from Ari Bloom from the UK. Ari writes, I first began with the Daf and MDY Isru Chag Pesach of last year when the lockdown put all other learning on hold. At that time, I never imagined that I'd be getting up at 5 a.m. to do the Daf. For that matter, I never thought I'd be writing Purim spoofs about a Maggid Shir's Kenan Einikel. Ari Bloom is a writer for R Eli Stefansky newsletter. He's an unbelievable writer. Cliches may sound, the Daf has definitely changed me for the better over the past year plus. Thank you for getting us through some tough mesechtas and pushing us to go for consistency rather than perfection. I'm proud to say that I've put that advice into practice a few times this year. Kol Tov, Ari Bloom. Thanks, Ari, and thanks for all the writing you do for R Eli Stefansky. So the Gemara tells us, we've been talking about that we put the Kohen Gadol and we sequester him for 7 days, Prisha. Why? And the Gemara says, because perhaps we'll find out that his wife is a Safek Nida. And we know from Sechtes Nida that if a woman sees Dam, we could go back 24 hours retroactive, and anything she touched in terms of Taharis would become Tameh. And Rebbe Kiva says we take that same logic and we use it on the husband, and we say that he is considered as if he was with a Nida, a Baal Nida, and therefore he becomes Tameh like a Nida. And if he's a Kohen Gadol, he cannot perform the Avodah. So therefore we sequester him for 7 days. The Gemara says that it's even possible to say that it goes according to Chacham. And it goes like this. In those days, they would do b'dikas to see that they're not Tameh, and that whatever they touched beforehand, is the fruit, is not Tameh. So if the man does a b'dika on himself and he finds Dam, it has to be that he's with a Nida, and therefore both him and his wife are Tameh Midoraisa. They're Vadei Tameh. If a woman does a b'dika ois yomi immediately afterwards, so they're both Tameh Vadai. However, if she waits even just a few seconds, enough for her to get up and do a b'dika, then they're only Tameh Midorabanan Safek. And if they wait for a period of time called Achar, beyond that, let's call it more than 5 seconds later, so there's a machlokes. Rebbe Kiva says that they're both Tameh retroactive, and Chacham say not. So according to Chacham, it's possible that over here we're talking about the in-between time called Acher. And with that they would admit that they're both Tameh. Reb Zera holds, and that Gemara says Lamaskana as well, that a man who's Baal Nida, he doesn't have the exact halachas like a Nida. Yes, he's Tameh. But when it comes to when he's Toivel, it's different than a woman. A woman is Toivel at night. The man can be Toivel during the day. And it's a tremendous nafkamina because this Kohen Gadol, if he had to be Toivel like a woman at night, and he's only sequestered for 7 days, it comes out that he cannot perform the Avodah on Yom Kippur. So therefore we must say that he was able to be Toivel earlier during the day. And by the time Yom Kippur comes, he already has Heref Shemesh, the sun went down on him, and therefore he's completely tar to perform the Avodah. And we have a Mefursha Brisa that says this. It says that a Zav and a Zava, a Mitzurim and Tziras, a Baal Nida and a Tmei Mace, the Baal Nida is in this category, they're all Toivel during the day. That's exactly what Reb Zera said. Whereas Yoledes and a Nida are the only ones that are Toivel at night. Rav Shimi says, perhaps we don't have to say that a Baal Nida is a Toivel during the day. Maybe he's Toivel at night. And in fact, we're mafreshim a little bit more, a little bit earlier than the 7 days. 1 hour before Shkia, like right before Shkia the day before. And it's not considered a whole day, and therefore we say he's only sequestered for 7 days. You see in the chart in blue. There's a brisa that says that a Baal Keri is like somebody that touched the sherets. And the Baal Nida is like somebody that touched the dead. And it's referring to that just like a Tmei, somebody touched the corpse, he's Toivel during the day. So too, a Baal Nida is Toivel during the day. Because if it's referring to the type of Tumah, that if somebody touches, a Baal Keri is like somebody that touches the sheretz, that's Mefurish in the Torah. And that a Baal Nida is like a Tmei, that's Mefurish in the Torah 7 days. But there's also a Chiddush at the end of the Brisa. And the Chiddush is that a Baal Nida has Tumah more so than somebody that touches the corpse. Well, nida is mitame b'mishkav ha'moishav. In other words, if he sits on a mattress, the mattress is tamei, and if he sits on top of 10 mattresses, the bottom one is also tamei. But unlike a nida, where the bottom one is tamei, l'chumra, a bayil nida is only mitama l'kula. In other words, he's only mitama oichel amashka, food and drink, but not kalim like a nida. Why do we sequester the kohen gadol for a far out chashash that his wife might be a suffix nida? Why aren't we concerned that perhaps the people that are with him, talking to him, one of them will die, and then there'll be a worse tumas meis, oil? Not so much worse, but another tumah. The answer is because either we hold, like Rav Nachman, that tumah hutra b'tzibur. This is not a concern. Tumas meis is not a concern for the kohen gadol who has to perform the avodah for the tzibur. Or even if we hold like Rav Sheshes, that tumah dechuya, not that it's completely obsolete, that it's still there, we push it off and it's b'di'evet, but it's very, very rare, and more rare, so to speak, than a suffix nida, than to say that somebody's going to just drop dead right there and then. Rav Nachman, who says tumah hutra b'tzibur, that is that we don't even regard the tumah at all when it comes to the tzibur. So one lashon says, however, if there's a kohen available right here within his family who's tar, so let's use him instead of the kohen gadol we have now. The other lashon says no. It's such a heter. We completely disregard the tumah that even if we have another kohen standing right here, we don't have to use the kohen that's tar. We can use the kohen that's tamei. Have a wonderful day.